6 o'clock. Good evening, folks. It's my honor to call the meeting to order. We are blessed and honored to have the former Mayor Walt Cobb with us as a delegation on the subject. And also honored to have William Lake First Nation Chief, brother, Chief Seller. Welcome to you, along with the elected official, like always, Area Director Steve Forsyth from Area D. Welcome to you all, along with the guest and other friends, citizens, staff members, media. It's a great day for one of the segment in our community, ethnic community, Sikh community. I'm one of them. I want to congratulate to each and every one of them to celebrating their Baisakhi Day. Baisakhi is celebrated three major reasons. First time the Sikhs was baptized 13th April 1699, and due to how the moon works, and somebody told me today's the date. And the second reason they celebrate this day is the harvesting season for the farmers, beginning of the harvesting season. The last but not least is the new day, New Year Day for the business community. So I want to congratulate all the Sikhs, and especially having the Sikh Heritage Month declared by BC government. I request each and everyone to keep your phone silent so council proceeding do not get disturbed. Council Flash Puller is away. So is Councillor Moses. He said he's not up as we speak. He promised he will do his best to log in if he could, if he would be through the Zoom, but so far he hasn't been. We're watching. And we'll begin the meeting by acknowledging the land we're gathered in the William Lake Swapnik people's unceded territory. I want to thanks to the chief, to the nation, to the elder allowing us to get together to do the business. Adoption of the agendas on the table.
So moved, Your Worship.
Thank you, Councillor Nelson, Councillor Bain. Any addition, deletion on the agenda? Hearing none, all in favor? Carried. Minutes of regular meeting council held March 24th is on the table.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Councillor Delaney, Councillor Bain. Any addition, deletion? Hearing none, all in favor? Carried unanimously. Delegation. It's my honor to receive our Accessibility Committee Chair, Maureen Staja. She's done a great job, and due to some reason she couldn't be with us physically, but she's through the Zoom. It's her turn to address the council. Maureen, welcome.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. First of all, I'd like to say thank you to our Mayor and Council for your ongoing support to make Williams Lake accessible and inclusive to all. I'd also like to say a special thank you to our liaison council member, Jasmine Lyons, and to city employees who come out to our meetings. Vanessa Schwartz, Rena Schill, I'll have to read these off because I don't want to miss anyone. Ross Coupe, Rob Warnock, Gary Dean, Brandon Finnegan, James Smith, and Gary Maraca, all of whom attend our meetings on a regular basis and bring with them their knowledge and expertise and support. Without the city's backing and everything you give to us, we wouldn't be very successful. And we're also happy to say that we did present the 2025 Accessibility Award of Merit to the Alliance Church for putting in a ramp and making and highlighting their outdoor stairway. The certificate of recognition was also presented to the Evangelical Free Church for an accessible ramp that they had put in a number of years ago. So again, I'd like to say thank you for all of your support.
Any question, Councillor Lyon?
Thank you. Thank you, Maureen. I really enjoy sitting on this committee and seeing all the insight that you guys bring to the table. It's nothing but a benefit for the city, and the amount of things that you guys bring to light that are usually fairly accessible for us to be able to implement too. It's just been fantastic sitting and seeing everything that you guys have managed to change. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Lyon. Councillor Nelson, then Councillor Bay.
Yeah, I echo my colleagues' comments. I just wanted to thank you very much for the work that your committee does. I think it has literally moved mountains in terms of creating some significant movements. Of course, in our hometown, Reconsideration. Just a huge shout out to your organization, because I think what you guys have done, Maureen, under your leadership has created some very positive changes. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Nelson. Councillor Bay.
Thank you, Worship. Yes, I also just wanted to echo and say thanks for everything you do. And I recently saw the video online and everything. I just think you're just getting the word out there so much better about accessibility. And I see so many more messages, and I think it is helping and working. And I appreciate all you do. Thank you so much for the community. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much from Mayor's office, Maureen. And we are very proud of your leadership, the work you have done, the advice you have given to the council and my office. Please keep up the good work. And staff, please.
The recommendation that the report of the Accessibility Advisory Committee Chair and Legislative Services Assistant Coordinator dated March 11, 2026 regarding a summary of the AAC's goals and successes from 2025 be received for information.
Second.
Moved and second, Councillor Lyon, Councillor Nelson, all in favor? Carried. Thank you, Maureen. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Well, now my
Thank you.
privilege to invite our former Mayor Walt Cobb. We all know how significant role our brothers and sisters in the Army play. And lots of years, lots of times since I've been in this office in the chair, people have called, asked about the walkway, something recognition to the veterans, to the Army, to Navy and Air Force. We've been talking with the Legion, and here goes our former Mayor Walt Cobb making the presentation. Welcome, sir.
Mayor, Council, staff, thanks for the opportunity to come before you and talk about the 100th anniversary of the Royal Canadian Legion. Before I get into the request, I'm going to give you a little history lesson. The Royal Canadian Legion was founded in 1925 in Winnipeg, and it was incorporated in July the following year as a unifying organization to support World War I veterans. Originally, it was named the Royal Canadian Legion of the British Empire Service League, and it did not receive the designation as the Royal Canadian Legion until 1960, so a few years later. The poppy, of course, was adopted in 1921, and it was based on John McCrae's poem In Flanders Fields. But it did not become the official trademark until 1948, after the Second World War. Our Williams Lake Legion, received its charter in September the 16th, 1934, with 15 members. The first president was E.G. Woodland, a veteran, and of course the founder of E.G. Woodland and Son, Woodland Jewelers. The current building was built in 1958 at a grand total of $25,000. And it was initiated by two names you'll probably remember, Jim Huckville and Tom Mason. Tom Mason was, I believe, our third mayor. And actually, he was the first mayor that I served under in 1980. So way back then. At that time, we were called aldermen, not councillors. Now, I guess we're a little bit more politically correct now. Now down to the request. When there's money to be involved, as in any request, I'm often asked, as the president of the Legion, why are you asking for money when the Legion donates so much money every year to different organizations? We raise money through our meat draws, lottery monies, as well as money raised through our poppy drive. Well, first and foremost, the poppy drive. Those funds cannot be spent on any day-to-day operation or staff. They must only go to veterans and their families in need. The gaming and lottery funds must be given to local groups and other local organizations with society status with only a small administration fee that we can keep for operations. And anybody that's involved with different programs from the provincial government knows that the paperwork takes up most of that small administration fee. Just as a sideline, this year, the grads, we give 3 $1,000 bursaries to the grads. And this year, because of our 100th anniversary, we've included an extra $1,000 bursary for someone who's entering the trades and or joining the military. So from those operations comes our small bar, or money for our operations comes from our small bar and our kitchen. The kitchen provides us with Monday night wing night, Thursday pasta night, a pancake breakfast the second Sunday of every month, our steak dinners, of course, which the last one we served 114 meals, which is a lot for a small organization, and we do some small in-house catering as well. The kitchen is run all by volunteers. There's no paid staff. Our meat draws are every Friday and Saturday from 4 to 6 and that's also run by volunteers. And the kitchen stays open from 4:30 to 6:30 to help raise money. We have 2 part-time staff, 3 part-time bar servers, 1 part-time janitor, and of course, as I stated, the kitchen is all run by volunteers. The revenue we generate through the bar and the kitchen covers our staff, our heat, our lights, taxes, and maintenance. So now down to the request. Enough history. Our request is for a grant or in-kind service to help cover the cost of installing the Veterans Crosswalk. I'm sure many of you have seen different ones in different communities. Our intent is to have the red and white plus on each sidewalk area, there will be a silhouette of a military individual. We talked about, actually the mayor and I talked about this a couple of years ago. We started when we were doing a Remembrance Day parade. We talked about the doing a crosswalk, but we felt, seeing this was the 100th anniversary, it was time to get on the bus and get it done. The crosswalk would be done by the same contractor that does your streets and line painting. And the estimate there's 2 different qualities we can get, and the estimate is in the application that you have on file. Our intent is to raise enough money to do the better quality crosswalk so that we don't have to patch it up and fix it up every year. Depending on the success of this request, of course, we will need to raise whatever shortfall by every other means we can. And of course, one of the reasons for this presentation is to bring awareness to the project, get our community behind us, and get the publicity to assist in any fundraising. Our hope is to have it installed in late May when your contractor's in town, have it done before Stampede. If that is not possible, the other window of opportunity would when the contractor comes back to town in August to do the crosswalks for back to school. So there's 2 opportunities. But we would hope to have it done in May before the Stampede, but if we can't, we have also a big celebration happening, a 3-day celebration for the Legion in September. Now the plans, of course, are still in the works, but our biggest plan for the 100th celebration is our crosswalk, and the bigger project, or a bigger inclusion in the Stampede Parade this year. We have some we have some other things happening for the parade that we haven't had for a few years, and that's one of the reasons we would like to have the crosswalk done before Stampede. In September, we're planning a 3-day event. The Friday, we will have open to the public for hot dogs and hamburgers. The Saturday, to raise some money to help, hopefully, for the crosswalk. We will be having a steak night at a reduced price. And on the Sunday, which is our normal Sunday breakfast, we'll have a pancake breakfast on the Sunday. So it'll be a 3-day event with in-house displays and a whole lot of fun things for the community at the Legion on September the 11th, 12th, and 13th. Any questions?
Councillor Nelson.
Well, thank you very much, former Mayor Walt Cobb, and thank you very much to the Legion. I'll be supporting the application in front of us. In actual fact, I'll be making the recommendations to split this into 2 different votes, one to support it and then one for the funding application. But thank you very much. We've talked about this for a while now, and I think it's great to have this come forward. It recognizes our Legion and recognizes our veterans, what they've done for our country. So your worship, if there's no other comments, then I would recommend that we split the motion in half, endorsing the project, and then look for a funding formula.
Could you hold it and let other people speak, please?
Thank you.
Thank you. I'll come back to you. Councillor Delaney, please.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you, Mr. Cobb. Just a question. I feel like I'm in the wrong business. Maybe I should go into line painting.
Sorry?
I said, I feel like I'm in the wrong business. Maybe I should go into line painting. This is a lot of money for a crosswalk.
It
From
is a lot of money.
7,500 to 12,700, based on the quality of paint you were saying. My question is, who will maintain the sidewalk once it's in place?
Crosswalk.
The crosswalk.
Who will maintain it?
Yeah, once it's in
As I
place.
understand it, with our other crosswalks we have in town that have different paintings, it's the responsibility of, in this case, it would be the Legion. The others are whoever puts the crosswalks in, they're responsible for the maintenance. Unless the city has changed the rules, the maintenance is done by the applicant, which would be the Legion.
Mr. Maraca.
Thanks, Your Worship. So the difference in price is the difference in the quality of the paint. When you get to the 12,750, that's going to be a thermoplast material that's going to last longer. And that's like, for instance, the crosswalk by Marie Sharp right now, you can see that it started out nice, bright, orange, everything like that. And because it was just done in standard paint, now it just looks like an orange blob. But when you look at the one over here for the Pride crosswalk, for instance, very little maintenance goes in that, right? So the odd chip and stuff like that, but the Pride Society actually does the repairs and touch-ups there. So I would recommend nothing different than a thermoplast product because it will give you the longevity, especially when you're talking about the graphics. We're talking about silhouettes and stuff like that. So it is the price. This is,
When I talked to the
it's price.
contractor, he recommended the better price
yes.
so that we didn't have to be out there every year doing it.
Yeah, no, it makes sense. And I mean, I'm in support of the application. I think the Legion is a wonderful organization and all the things that they give back to the community in supporting veterans. My grandmother was a vice president of the local Legion in Langley, and it was one of the things that kind of kept her going after my grandfather passed away. And I have lots of love in my heart for the Legion for what you guys do. So thank you very much. I was just curious on the who was taking care of it and the difference of the paint.
We'd
Thank
gladly
you.
give it to the city if they wish.
Who would know better than Mr. Cobb? He knows. Yeah, I'm coming. Michael Moses there. I got Councillor Bain, then Michael Moses, please.
Thank you, Worship, and welcome, Mayor. I also think it's a great cause. I mean, can't get a better group than our Legion members, and always so much support for you, and certainly hope we can make it happen. So
We will make it happen.
Thank you.
you always do.
Councillor Moses, welcome.
Thank you, Your Worship. I apologize for being late. This project is one that I think will be a great addition to our community. What a wonderful way to show respect to our veterans, and something that I can fully put my support behind. Thank you, Your Worship.
Thank you, Councillor Moses. I had a great discussion on the subject. I don't think the community can help enough to the veterans, to the Legion. More we do, less it is. It's endless. The people give their lives. Any soldier they give their life to the community, to the society, to protect us, so we can sleep peacefully. I'm a soldier, my family is all from the Army, and I totally understand. I'm so happy my dream gonna come true. Remember, like Mr. Cobb said, me and him was walking, had a good discussion. Thank you very much for bringing the dream to come reality. Not only my dream, but so many people in the community were asking. I don't think anybody gonna go back. And I had a good discussion. The community, we had a $50,000 funds for this kind of program, and we have awarded the funds to 19 different organizations. Some reason we can't go over, it's only $4,671.66 left. That won't be enough. It would be shame for the council and the other decision maker if we say, Legion, here's the check for $4,400. I would not like that personally. So I had a good discussion. Some of the people in the chamber and Mr. Cobb, the motion we would have, and Councillor Nelson going to move it, we will have a two separate motion. One would be agreeing in principle and allowing them to go ahead, start doing the fundraising. That would be the one motion. Second motion going to be referred it to the joint committee. We had the best relation we could ever with the CRD. They've been a great partner. If we make a decision tonight for the money, it's going to sound like putting a cart in front of the horse. We don't want to do that. We will make the financial decision together. And Mr. Cobb, do you agree with that? We even agree, but I want you to tell the council publicly if you agree or not with that decision. Thank you.
I'll let them know at the next executive meeting.
Thank you. I appreciate it. But Councillor Nelson going to make the motion, and Councillor Nelson, before you go, Mr. Maraca.
Thanks, Your Worship. But just a question for Mr. Cobb there. The time is of the essence here. We're trying to get this done by May to be in time for Stampede. So any delays for any kind of commitment for any kind of funding
Yes.
is going to hurt the time period and stuff like that. So supporting the project in principle, in my mind, should come with some sort of financial commitment from council while they're still fundraising or while the regional district's being involved as well, just so the Legion could start proceeding towards procuring the contractor and moving forward, because I know the regional district will come to the table and I know that you'll fundraise, but you kind of want some sort of financial commitment so you can pay your deposits and stuff and get the contractor moped here, I would think.
That'd be part of the recommendation.
Yes, I agree.
Okay.
Yeah, please, Councillor Nelson.
Thank you, Worship. So I'm going to split the resolution into two. One, that the presentation of Walt Cobb Royal Canadian Legion Branch 139 requesting council approve the proposed installation of the painting military themed crosswalk of the intersection of 4th Avenue and Bourne Street be approved.
Moved and seconded. We're
Call the
gonna
question.
approve. Yeah, I got the second. You moved it. Councillor Nelson, Councillor Delaney seconded. Anybody on the first motion? Hearing none, all in favor? Carried unanimously. Thank you. Second motion.
The second recommendation, Your Worship, is that having my colleague beside me here from the Cariboo Regional District just committed to $1,000 from his organization, the Cariboo Regional District. Thank you, Steve. Cariboo Regional District Representative. So the second part would be that we receive, subject to the endorsement of the military crosswalk proposal, which has been done. Council approve the late 2026 community grant application from the Royal Canadian Legion Branch 139 in accordance with council policy for the full amount, and further send it to the joint committee for additional funding support. Thank you.
I hope that the Director
Steve, does that?
Forsyth is okay with the motion. Is he? What did he say? Is he okay?
Steve? Yeah. Like
Thank you. Okay, I need seconded, please. Okay, Councillor Bain seconded.
Delaney has the question.
Yes, sorry, hold on. Director, you had any question, please? Oh, thank you. Councillor Delaney.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just for a point of clarification, Are you suggesting, Councillor Nelson, that we're funding the entire 12,000 amount?
No.
We only have 4,600.
No,
Whatever
no,
we had.
we're funding, and we can put that in there, the 4,600 amount.
Okay, using up the rest of the grants
That,
for assistance.
and then we would go and seek our support for $1,000, so it actually only costs 3,600.
Gotcha, okay, yeah.
You can put that into the resolution.
Yeah, the wording,
Yeah.
Councillor Delaney, if I may, Councillor Delaney, the wording he said is according to the policy. We will not go over 50,000, whatever is left would be. Oh, sorry, I didn't hear that. Okay, okay. See, Mr. Cobb is happy and people.
No wonder
in the
Walt was
audience-
smiling.
Yes, no,
I knew what he meant.
I don't think anybody gonna deny helping you. I have promised you, whatever I can, I will bring my personal check to you, sir, to you personally. You would have some support from me and my family. In memory of my father, I will bring you the money. Don't worry. I mean, I can't say how much, it depends what I had the day I come. Anybody else, please? Is the motions, everybody clear? We are agreeing in principle, according to the policy, whatever the money city can do it. And I don't think this is the right table for Director Forsyth to commit anything, but he's committing. And we will go to the area D, E, F. He's the area D director, area E and F. Hopefully they will join us. We can help you much as we can. Please, Mr. Muraka.
Your Worship, I just got a question for our engineering manager. Jeff, do we have we put out our tender for the line painting contract yet?
That one's administered through Public Works. I'm not familiar if they actually have or not through Matt. It's my understanding that they did award to Yellowhead, though, just in my recollection.
So Yellowhead,
Yeah.
Yellowhead has our contract now. Is there the advantage to actually having this procured through our existing contract for economies of scale?
Because it's such a specialty item, it would be worth at least a discussion with them to see if we could, it'd be possible to get a thermoplast deal with them. So it's at least worth a discussion.
When I talked to them, I did talk to them on the phone because I had to get the quote. They indicated that they would be prepared to do it in May if all things fell into place.
And Mr. Cobb, you talked to the Yellowhead people?
Yellowhead,
Thank you.
yes,
Excellent.
yes.
Councillor Nelson.
Sounds like it's going to move forward. So basically, we're just going to upfront it. We'll go to our colleagues for the backup for the extra $1,000. Question to Jeff. Jeff, I've had several people send me some off Facebook in Australia where the lines and crosswalks have got an illumination so that when the lights hit it, it's very reflective. Is that possible to add that into this?
Yeah, actually, that's a requirement for even here in Canada for our pavement markings. They put little reflective glass beads
That's right.
into the paint.
That's right.
And that's why at night our sidewalks or our crosswalks and lines pop so brightly. So yeah, that would be a component.
Perfect. Thank you.
There's a spec for that, Councillor Nelson.
Great.
And just for the community's purpose, the thermoplastic is the best. And years back, when I was the chair of the Public Works, I think maybe 2000, maybe earlier, we talked about the city level. The cost was very high because city could not afford it that time. It's 10+%, 10 times more cost than the regular. That's what Mr. Cobb's estimate is showing. So good luck and thank you. All in favor? Opposed, if any? Carried unanimously. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Legion members.
Thank you very much.
Well, third and last, our delegation for the Wildfire Risk Reduction Program, please. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor and Council, for having me. If we could get the slides up too, please, that would be great. My name is Taya Vanderkop-Gerard. I'm the city's Wildfire Risk Reduction and FireSmart Coordinator. And I just want to come here today to talk a bit about some program updates, as well as how we can prepare for this upcoming fire season. Next slide, please. So the first program update is the Community Wildfire Resiliency Plan. I know this is on the agenda later, so I'll keep this very brief. But just for some more context for the public, this plan was developed by Foresight. It analyzed the 7 FireSmart disciplines that are on this slide here. Under each discipline, vulnerabilities were addressed, and through this assessment, as well as through public feedback, we came up with 43 action items to improve wildfire resiliency, and this would guide our risk reduction work moving forwards. If anyone from the public is curious about this plan, wants to learn more, has any questions, we will be displaying more information at the Fire Department open house at the end of May. We'll also be publishing this on the city website, as well as informing residents on social media. And they can also just contact me. My contact information will be at the end of the presentation. Next slide, please. So this deals with kind of our larger timescale approach to wildfire risk reduction, but just kind of looking at this fire season specifically, I've already heard a number of concerns from residents about the potential for a bad fire season, and it's not, entirely without justification. I have a seasonal forecast here. This is from Environment and Climate Change Canada. The darker red areas indicate essentially a higher probability of having above normal temperatures this summer. The map on the left is from April to June, and the map on the right is July to September. And this is basically just comparing the predicted temperatures to our average between 1991 and 2020, so fairly recent climate data. All of this to say that we're basically looking at what's likely a very hot summer, and this is going to result in more severe fire weather. It's still a forecast. There are uncertainties inherent in that, but with all the data pointing towards potentially dangerous fire conditions, it's even that much more important that we are prepared for this upcoming fire season. Next slide, please. So to best prepare, there are a number of actions that are recommended. Many of them boil down to creating fuel breaks around our community and around properties. When a wildfire is nearby and casting embers on the community, or if a wildfire starts in the community, it's particularly dangerous if it's starting or embers are landing on continuous and dense chains of fuel. Disasters happen when those fires can spread quickly throughout the community, when we can have multiple ignitions, and when fire suppression resources are quickly overwhelmed. In order to prevent this, from the city standpoint, we're working on creating fuel breaks. You've likely noticed the smoke recently. We've done a number of prescribed burns in partnership with BC Wildfire. There was also some pile burning this past winter to wrap up other fuel management work. And all of these fuel treatments contribute to reducing fuel loads on the land, improving ecosystem health, and reducing wildfire threats around the community by creating those fuel breaks within and around Williams Lake. The most important fuel break, though, is going to be in that first 1.5 meters around homes and businesses. So as we move into fire season, we're asking that all residents and businesses contribute to wildfire risk reduction by taking small steps around their property to reduce risks. Actions like moving firewood away from structures, moving any stored wood, other combustible material away from structures, pruning trees and shrubs to create distance between them and any structures, as well as distance between them and just any other fuels. Raking up leaves, any vegetative debris that can easily ignite from embers, and cleaning roofs and gutters. They all seem like they might be really small actions relative to the scale of wildfires in BC, but they've been shown time and time again in research, post-fire case studies, test ignition projects to have the biggest impact on reducing wildfire risks. It's also vital that everyone in the community is participating in this, residents and businesses alike. By protecting your own property, you're safeguarding your structures, but you're also helping to reduce the chance of spread of a fire through the community by incorporating fuel breaks all around Williams Lake. Next slide, please. So to help with this, the Cariboo Regional District FireSmart program is still waiving tipping fees for any vegetative debris from residential FireSmart activities. We also have some community events coming up if people want to get informed. At Scott Island on May 2nd, they'll be running a free, family-friendly event. People can come explore the trails, complete some FireSmart themed challenges, and learn more about protecting their community. We will also have FireSmart incorporated at the fire department's open house at the end of May. And again, if they want more information about the CWRP, there will be some displays there. FireSmart BC also just announced their local FireSmart Collective program. This program is intended for any neighborhoods, stratas, trailer parks, any kind of units within the community that want to collectively reduce their wildfire risk. In this program, I'll complete an assessment. We'll work together to create a mitigation plan And then we can also potentially access funding through this program in order to run community cleanup days or any other mitigation events. I can do the assessment and help along the way with this program, but we do need to have residents and businesses spearheading this collective program in their own communities. So if anyone is worried about wildfire risks, passionate about wildfire, and wants to help to work to make their neighborhood safer, please reach out. I'd love to be able to start this program in Williams Lake. And lastly, I mentioned this before, but it's really important that we have everyone involved. A lot of FireSmart messaging has focused on homeowners, but we want to get businesses involved in this as well. We're offering free 30-minute walk-around inspections for any businesses. We'll go through, identify hazards, and we can effectively prioritize mitigation strategies that would work within operational and financial constraints. So I'm just asking that if anyone is expressing concerns about wildfires this upcoming summer or needs help kind of with where to start with mitigation, please, please, please reach out. I have contact information listed there, and we're also at the fire hall. It's inevitable that we have another wildfire near or in Williams Lake. We can't prevent that, but what we can prevent is the loss of structures, homes, and businesses. And in order to do that, we need everyone to contribute by reducing risks around their property and creating those field breaks. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I appreciate keep up the good work, and anybody watching, listening, if you need any help, could we contact directly. 250-392-4321 is her number, or you can call through the city hall to the fire hall, go visit her and chat with her. And she's asking no different, but this council have always asked by working together. We can definitely face anything in the world by working together. That is the theme this council had it over 3.5 years, and we have done everything possible we can while working together. So once again, from my office, on behalf of the council, my request is work together, work with her. She can come help you how to make your place safe, or somebody else, whatever she can do, contact her, go visit her at the fire hall. Councilor Nelson.
Thank you very much, and your timing is impeccable, and I appreciate very much the work that you're doing. I think the message is loud and clear. Folks, it's going to be a hot summer. We recognize that. We need to be proactive. We need to get up on top of this. Whether you're a homeowner or you're a business person, there's an opportunity for us as a community, both inside Williams Lake and outside Williams Lake, as First Nation partners as well, both sides of our community, along with the Cariboo Regional District. This is a regional issue and a community issue. It's big. One of the things that we're suggesting is that if you clean out your eaves troughs and you pull some shrubs off the bottom of your trees and you just clean up around your yard, there's no tipping fees on that. You can take that to the landfill. It's free. There's an opportunity that's here right now. You see a lot of pre-burning that's taking place. Those pre-burns are reducing the potential for potential fires coming in the future. So it's going to be hot. It's probably going to be a hotter summer than last year from what we're hearing. So we're just trying to be very pre-prepared. If you have a concern or you need a hand with something, please call. There's a number that we can come out and have a free look around. It will help your business. It'll help insure your house as well. So thank you very much. I think it's a great opportunity. And I just want to make sure that there's a real coordination between the First Nations on both sides and the Cariboo Regional District. Can you expand on that a little bit too then?
Yeah, for sure. I work very closely with the Cariboo Regional District and Williams Lake First Nation FireSmart coordinators. We run community engagement together often. Oftentimes when we are running an event, we get people from all communities, so it's really helpful to be able to work on that together.
Thank you very much.
Any more question, comment? Hearing none, thank you very much. Keep up the good work. Clerk's note, please.
Clerks note that the presentation from Taya Vanderklop-Gerard, Wildfire Risk Reduction and FireSmart Coordinator regarding an introduction and overview of the FireSmart program and objectives be received for information.
Moved and seconded. Councilor Delaney, Councilor Nelson, all in favor? Carried unanimously. Thank you. Next item is computer checks.
Recommendation that the accounts payable, computer check, and EFT listings dated March 26th, April 2nd, and 9th, 2026 be received for information.
Moved and seconded. Councilor Delaney, Councilor Bain. Any question concerning? Hearing none, all in favor? Carried. Next item is reconsideration of cannabis license referral staff.
Recommendation that pursuant to the report of the planner dated April 7th, 2026, council directs staff to send a response to LCRB regarding the cannabis retail license application at number 401118 Prosperity Way that states A, the city of Williams Lake is considered the location of the proposed store and the views of the residents, and B, the city of Williams Lake recommends the application be issued as minimal concerns have been identified by the various city departments on general impact of the community, and the proposal aligns with council policy number 213 and zoning bylaw number 2430, and further that council directs staff to include a record of the community consultation with the response to the LCRB regarding the license application. So this is the item that's on for reconsideration.
Okay, it's moved by Councillor Delaney. I need seconder. Councillor Bain, seconded. Any question before we go to the question? If anybody had any question, I had the people on behalf of the applicant available through the Zoom. If council member have any question, they can ask and they will address it. Yes, and at the same time, I will give the opportunity from the audience, the people wanted to speak. I would respectfully request if you let the council ask any question, if they had it from the applicant, then I can get anybody from the audience to speak to, please. Oh, I see. Okay. Thank you. Sorry for my apology. Anybody wanted to speak from the audience, you're welcome. Please come to the stage. Yeah, sorry, go ahead, sir. Go ahead.
Your Worship, I wish to address Mayor and Council on behalf of my client, One Plant, who is the applicant.
Please.
The subject applicant of the reconsideration.
Please, go ahead. And just to state your name and for the record of the clerk, then we can move ahead.
Thank you. Just give me one moment to get organized here.
Please.
There we are. Okay. Name for the record. Surname Laurie, Laurie. First name Robert. Middle initials WE. Appearing for the applicant, One Plant Retail. With regard to their submissions with respect to the Section 131 reconsideration proceedings before Mayor and Council tonight. And on that, I have submission, which will take me about 15, 20 minutes. And thank you for having me. Again, my name is Robert Laurie, and I appear as legal counsel for One Plant Retail Corp. And with me tonight on behalf of the company is Mr. Ruben Ruggiero, who is in charge of Eastern Development for One Plant, but he is appearing appearing on behalf of Ms. Courtney Pratt, who is manager for Western Development. Again, thank you very much for the opportunity to address you. I will be direct and I will focus on the record that is already before you. This is not a new application. The issue before us is not what the market prefers. It is whether the statutory framework, it is what the statutory framework requires. Ultimately, this is a reconsideration of a decision that council made on March 24, 2026, after a full statutory process. As discussed, this proceeding touches on Section 131 of the Community Charter. Again, the mayor may require council to reconsider and vote again on a matter within 30 days of the original decision. There's no issue with the authority to reconsider, but the key point is this. A reconsideration is not a reset of the process. It is not a new application, and it does not change the legal framework within which council must act. Ultimately, council must make the decision again on the same statutory footing on a rational basis and grounded in the same evidentiary record unless something material has changed. I'll turn briefly to a detailed record of the proceeding to date. By way of background, this application was submitted by one plant in November 2025 and referred to the city by the province in January 2026. Staff conducted a full review and brought forward a report confirming that the proposed cannabis retail use is permitted under the zoning bylaw, that it complies with policy number 213, and that importantly, minimal concerns were identified by the city departments regarding community impact. Further, the March 24 council report did not simply confirm compliance, it recommended approval. Staff recommended that council advise the province that the application should be issued as it aligned with zoning and council policy 213 and raised minimal concerns. Further, that recommendation was supported by internal referrals across planning, fire, building, licensing, and the RCMP, none of which identified any material concern with respect to land use, compatibility, safety, traffic, nuisance, or policing impact. Critically, staff confirmed that the property is correctly zoned under not just the current bylaws, but the previous bylaws, that all siting requirements are met. There were no planning or land use concerns identified, which in the backdrop of policy 213, this expressly supports the diversity of retail operators. So unfortunately, that conclusion was not tentative, it was definitive. As the matter came before council on March 24th, 2026, and at that meeting, the formal recommendation before council was that the city had considered the location and the views of the residents, and that the city recommended the application be issued as minimal concerns had been identified and the proposal aligned with council policy and zoning. These same considerations were echoed in the findings of the staff council report in January of 2026. Same issues. The property was correctly zoned under both the former and current bylaws, complied with all requirements. No concerns were identified. And again, specifically 213, the policy provides that the city supports the legalization of cannabis retail, and most importantly, encourages a diversity of retail opportunities, operators, and business models within the city, which of course are subject to zoning and licensing requirements. So what this reflects is a concern, policy 213, again, requires that the process for gathering and considering public input be fair and equitable, both to residents and the applicant, and that it avoid any perception of bias. That reflects a concern not simply with gathering input, but with ensuring that input is considered in a manner that is balanced and procedurally fair. So what did council consider during the March 24 meeting? Well, council and mayor debated the matter. Importantly, council heard concerns about impact on existing businesses, including potential economic harm. Council also heard the countervailing position that decisions must follow bylaws and policies. The mayor made it very clear that applicants must be treated equally. And this is very important, that council should avoid placing itself in a position of legal exposure. To that point, one councillor expressly stated, "I like to follow the rules. I never want to put this municipality in a position of litigation. I will always treat everyone equally." Give me 1 second, I just need a quick drink. Thank you. And the mayor acknowledged council has the right to say yes or no, and that a refusal carries legal risk, and that council must balance competing interests. Following that discussion, again, council voted to approve the application and direct a positive recommendation to the province. And this is very important. The transcript reflects that this outcome was driven in a significant part by concerns relating to the potential economic impact on existing businesses and the desire to protect those operators from increased competition. In particular, Councillor Moses referenced letters concerning or expressing concern that the store would, in his words, and in quotes, damage some of our local businesses, and indicated that those concerns were determinative of his position. Importantly, though, this discussion reflects a broader emphasis on balancing or protecting existing commercial interests rather than identifying any planning, land use, or community impact concerns arising from the proposed location itself. Now, while those perspectives are understandable from a business standpoint, and especially as identified in the 3 letters contained in the council materials from aggrieved business owners in the same industry, unfortunately, though, they do not fall within the core statutory considerations before council, which are directed to the suitability of the location and the impact on the community, not the impact on a particular operator or section of the industry within a municipality. And most importantly, the record does not identify any new material of adverse community impact, incompatibility, or planning concern that would support a different outcome or reconsideration. So within a procedural context, how was this decision made? Well, there's one additional feature of the March 24 process that is important. Council made its decision, and this is crucial, on the basis of a complete and structured record. That record included the full staff report, written submissions from members of the public, and the materials placed before council in advance of the meeting. Council considered that record and deliberated within its statutory role. The decision was therefore made on a complete evidentiary foundation with full awareness of the concerns that had been raised and in accordance with the applicable framework. And it is now this decision that is being reconsidered. The applicant's position in these from their submissions is that one plant has been operating through Trees Cannabis. This operator has deep roots in British Columbia, originating as a compassion club in 2015. The operator controls multiple stores in good standing with the Liquor and Cannabis Regulatory Branch. It has not closed a single store in its years of operation. Interestingly, it is a unionized employer providing a living wage. The operator contributes to local charitable initiatives and passed the rigorous fit and proper screening and vetting process by the province of British Columbia to determine suitability. The proposed store provides a lawful retail option. It emphasizes education and customer experience and is intended to complement, not jeopardize, existing businesses. And what is the role or the statutory role of council in all of this? Well, under the Cannabis Control and Licensing Act, council's role is to consider the location and the views of the community. As set out in our submission, that role remains constrained by the requirement that decisions be grounded in relevant considerations connected to community impact and supported by a rational evidentiary basis. Very importantly here, competition is not on its own a sufficient basis to refuse a compliant application. Therefore, the central question for council is whether the March 24 decision was grounded in the statutory framework and whether on reconsideration there is any evidence before council that supports a different or more properly grounded outcome. Because on March 24th, council had the full staff report. Council had public input. Council had evidence of compliance. Council heard concerns about the business impact. Council considered those concerns. So what has changed with respect to this reconsideration? Well, the only change is continued opposition. That opposition, however, was already before council. It was debated, it was considered, and was already weighed in the March 24 decision. And accordingly, that reconsideration report does not introduce new evidence or analysis. It simply returns the same decision to council on the same record. Therefore, council's role is confined to considering location and community impact. It does not extend to external pressures, political considerations, or the protection of specific market participants. Any reconsideration must be grounded in those statutory considerations and on the basis that the record has not materially changed. I'm nearing the end. I'm just got a few more points to make. As set out in our written submissions, where opposition is rooted in the desire to limit competition or preserve market share, it reflects a private economic interest rather than a broader public interest consideration. Further, there is no objective evidence that the market is saturated or that an additional store would actually give rise to adverse community impacts. In fact, let's look at it from the example of a coffee shop. If I, whether I'm an independent operator or Starbucks, proceed to apply for licensing in the municipality of Williams Lake, I'm going to be creating new jobs. I will be creating new economic opportunities. And at the end of the day, there'll be value, choice, and selection for the consumer. All of those are in the best interests of the townfolk of the municipality of Williams Lake. Again, assertions to the contrary, as I just set out, remain speculative. And even where framed more broadly, the substance of these concerns, particularly in the 3 letters forming part of the record, remain economic in nature. They're focused on competition and market share and are outside considerations of mayor and council. And that is because the market framework contemplates a lawful, competitive retail market. The addition of a compliant retailer who applied prior to any caps and collars or decision to limit the market, as indicated, enhances consumer choice. It improves access to legal products. And very importantly, it supports the transition away from the illicit market. Very importantly, and the reason that I am here tonight is that these are real binding commitments that were made to my client, the operator known as One Plant. However, these commitments do not create an entitlement, but they reinforce that any reversal requires a clear, rational, and evidence-based explanation of what has materially changed. And so it needs to be known and noted, and it's very important with respect to the issue of litigation, which is not my words. Those are the words of the councillor, the council member who recognized, including the mayor, that they were starting to enter into some complicated waters. And this is the crux of that complication. Following council's approval on March 24, the applicant did not simply rely on that decision in principle. It relied on it in a concrete and measurable way. By example, a non-refundable cannabis application fee of $7,500 was paid. Approximately $15,000 was incurred for engineering drawings and professional work required to advance the project. The applicant entered into a binding commercial lease immediately following the decision for the premises located at 1185 Prosperity Way, comprising approximately 1,450 square feet. with a lease for an initial term of 10 years with 2 5-year renewal options. 1 second. Thank you. The base rate is approximately $60,900 annually during the first term, going up to $65,000 roughly annually during the renewal. So at the end of the day, what council had or the mayor had indicated about the contention between, do we protect members of the community or do we deal with the lawyers? Well, unfortunately, because of these costs incurred, you've put one plant in a position where it's very difficult for them just to walk away from the situation. And so really these conclusions or commitments are concrete, binding, and were undertaken in reliance on council's approval. Now, we do not suggest that these expenditures create any type of legal entitlement to approval. But this is the important part. Where a decision has been made, communicated, and relied upon in this way, a reversal requires a clear, rational, and evidence-based explanation of what has materially changed. And so, to sum up or nearing conclusion, what is the proper role for reconsideration? Well, a reconsideration exists to address something overlooked, something new, or something requiring correction. It is not intended to revisit a decision simply because the reaction to that decision has continued or intensified. And so I just want to bring up another point that wasn't in my notes, but I have to say that it's really wonderful to see how Williams Lake treats their veterans. I'm a veteran myself. Before I became a lawyer, I was a Seaforth Highlander infantry reservist. And there's a very interesting role that, well, cannabis plays in the role of veterans' lives. Mayor, you indicated that the Army plays a very important role in our society. They serve and protect us. And there's a huge need to support vets. Well, being a board advisor to the Heroic Hearts Project and a lawyer with, again, extensive experience in compassionate cannabis access, believe it or not, vets are one of the most deserving and needing in the community who use cannabis. So if you're standing with vets, as you said in the earlier minutes of the meeting tonight, then you must stand for greater cannabis access. Because at the end of the day, veterans make up a very large proportion of those who use cannabis. And ultimately, cannabis does play a significant part with respect to harm reduction. And so I won't go into harm reduction arguments, but ultimately having more shops in the community is a benefit. So in conclusion, on March 24, you considered a complete application supported by staff with no identified planning concerns and no evidence of adverse community impact. The concerns raised were primarily economic in nature, focused on competition and market impact. Now, those concerns are understandable, but they do not, I repeat, do not form part of the statutory test. The question on reconsideration is whether the decision is grounded in proper framework. And on the record, there remains no evidence of land use incompatibility or community harm that would support refusal. So summing up, the issue is not what the market prefers. It is what the statutory framework requires. And on that basis, we respectfully request that council support their initial decision and direct a positive recommendation be issued to the province. And on that note, I conclude my submissions. I remain available to any further questions or clarification as may be needed. And I note that Mr. Ruben Ruggiero and Mark Doucette, General Counsel, are available for questions.
Thank you for your presentation, sir. Any question from the council to the applicant?
No, thank you.
Okay, now I'll open the floor. Anybody from the audience, please?
Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. Mayor and Council, thank you for the opportunity to speak. My name is Daniel Penny, and I'm the Chief Operating Officer for Unity Cannabis here in Williams Lake. I am here on behalf of Williams Lake First Nation and its wholly owned cannabis retail business, Unity Cannabis Limited Partnership, regarding the proposed cannabis retail license application by One Plant Retail Corp. WLFN remains firmly opposed to this application, and we urge Council to reverse its previous support. To be clear, opposition to this application is not limited to WLFN. There has been no meaningful public support for this proposal other than from those with a direct economic interest in seeing it proceed. The voices Council has heard have been voices of concern from local businesses, from residents, and from those who understand the realities of this market. This is not about opposing competition in principle. It is about local economic conditions, market saturation, and whether this application actually serves the interests of the Williams Lake community. And I think saying that the market is not saturated shows a miseducation on how many stores a single municipality can support, and that's been shown with stores closing across the province. This is not about opposing competition, WLFN raised these concerns previously based on direct, on-the-ground experience as a local operator through Unity Cannabis. Those concerns were practical and evidence-based. Other local businesses expressed similar concerns, yet Council chose to support an out-of-province corporate chain over existing local operators. That was disappointing. But what made the March 24th decision particularly troubling was not just the outcome, it was the reasoning. At the March 24th meeting, the mayor stated that voting against the application could expose Council to legal risk. This is simply not an accurate statement of the law. Under British Columbia's cannabis licensing framework, Council has clear discretion to consider local impacts, community views, compatibility with existing businesses, and the broader public interest. Council is not required to support every application that comes forward. The fact that an applicant may disagree with Council's decision does not eliminate Council's discretion or justify treating approval as the default. Neither provincial law nor the city's bylaws suggest that this is the case. Other municipalities understand this. On the same evening, Mayor considered a similar one-plant application, heard community concerns, and unanimously rejected it. They understood that their role was to exercise judgment in the interest of their community. Williams Lake had the same authority. This matter is also larger than a single license application. WLFN is not simply another stakeholder or local business. WLFN is an Indigenous government with rights throughout its territory, including the city of Williams Lake. WLFN is also a long-standing economic contributor, community partner, and government that has consistently acted in good faith in relationship with the city. When WLFN came forward and clearly expressed its concerns, Council had an opportunity to meaningfully weigh those concerns. Instead, WLFN's position was effectively brushed aside. Today, Council has an opportunity to correct course. This is not about favoring WLFN. It is about exercising the discretion the law gives you, listening to the community that is actually here, and making a decision that reflects local interests rather than defaulting to outside corporate expansion. We urge Council to reconsider its prior support and recommend against this application. Thank you very much.
Any question to the speaker?
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. Anybody else?
I got a right of reply, Mayor.
Yeah, go ahead, please.
Thank you. I want to point out that I hear what Unity Cannabis is saying. I should also point out, though, that they participate in a slightly amended or different licensing scheme in the BC legislature. They participate through a Section 119 scheme, which already gives Indigenous a huge advantage. There is preferential shelf space. There are access to funding and supports not available to other cannabis operators. And so ultimately, I appreciate views of the community, but ultimately, Unity Cannabis might be located on the traditional territories of Williams First Lake, but the jurisdiction in question is within solely the discretion and jurisdiction of mayor and council. I'll conclude there. Thank you.
Okay, anybody else from the audience, please? Last call. Anybody from the audience? Hearing none. Debate, we will open for the council member.
So, Mayor, just a quick, just remind council, so the legislative requirements governing council's review, comments, and recommendations are set out in the staff report attached in attachment A. Council is required to take into account the location of the proposed retail store. The applicable framework is set out in the cannabis licensing regulation, which is repeated in the original staff report in attachment A. The council's received a bunch of information on the legal side. We can, if council wishes, go into in camera, get advice from our lawyer on the legislation, and then come back out if council so wishes.
I'll move to move in camera for legal advice.
Oh, so,
Hold on, moved and seconded, hold on.
sorry, just before you move in second, let's make sure we're closing it under the proper section of
Yes, please.
the legislation. So this would be for, let's find it here. The subsection I, the receipt of advice that is subject to solicitor-client privilege, including communications necessary for that privilege.
Okay, moved by Councillor Delaney, who seconded, and Councillor Jasmine Lyon seconded. All in favor to go in camera? Oppose, if any? Carried unanimously. Thank you. We will all take a minute break, then we'll go in camera. In the meantime, oh, we can go downstairs. Okay, everybody can stay if you want it. We can go downstairs, please. We can go downstairs, please. Downstairs in the basement.
Will I still be able to join, Mr. Coupe?
Oh,
Give me a sec. I will send you a Zoom link for that.
Okay, over email?
Yes, over email. I'll send you something shortly here.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Coupe.
Can you hear me?
Yes, Your Honor. Yes, Your Worship.
Thank you, no problem. Council Mose, are you back on?
Not on yet.
Okay, I'll wait.
So he's just admitted. James, can you, Councilor Moses?
Your Worship, during the recess, some information came to my attention that I'd like to...
Could you hold it? Let me call the meeting in order, please? That way we
Yes,
will
sir.
be, yeah, I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Oh, Council Moses is here. Can you hear me, Council Moses?
Yes, Your Worship. Thank you.
Thank you. I'll, 7:35, I'll call the meeting back to order. And I suppose the applicant, the lawyer wanted to speak. Yes, sir, go ahead.
Thank you. During the recess, I had an opportunity to clarify instructions from my client. And there's 3 points I'd like to just quickly address. One is the false narrative of the surrounding the out-of-state operator. I just want to point out that for the past 7-8 years, my client has been employing British Columbians. They hire locally, contractors, professionals, members of the community. As I stated, Trees predates all of these other clubs. And secondly, Unity Cannabis, they raised the argument repeatedly in their submissions and the gentleman who appeared tonight about hardship. I'm not sure what their basis of hardship is, as Unity Cannabis ranks number 30 in the province with respect to the provincial rankings of stores in the province. I'm instructed that based on the information to hand, that puts Unity Cannabis somewhere in the neighborhood of about 5 million in annual revenue. So at the end of the day, this particular operator is hardly vulnerable. In fact, you could call them an economic juggernaut, for lack of a better word. And just to conclude, the third point is that my client is involved in proceedings in other jurisdictions, including Cowichan, where their licenses was passed, Merritt, where we're in a similar proceeding. But it should be noted that this operator has brought their concerns to the attention of all these other operators, which leads to the conclusion, I'm instructed, that this is truly about limiting their competition, which I will conclude is not in the best interests of this municipality. And on that note, thank you again for the opportunity to clarify our position. And we ask that you do the right thing and stand by the initial decision. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Anybody from the council audience?
Thank you, Worship.
No problem. And so now, question, call in question. Okay, if any question from council, please. There's no question from council, we can call the vote then. Okay,
So what's the recommendation?
the recommendation was moved and seconded by Councillor Delaney and Councillor Bain. That was the recommendation we had.
What is the recommendation?
Oh, what is the recommendation,
So
please?
the recommendation was council's resolution from before. So did you want me to reread it or? Yeah. So the recommendation is that pursuant to the report of the planner dated April 7th, 2026, council directs staff to send a response to the LCRB regarding the cannabis retail license application at number 401-1185 Prosperity Way that states A, the city of Williams Lake is considered the location of the proposed store and the views of residents, and B, the city of Williams Lake recommends the application be issued as minimal concerns have been identified by the various city departments on the general impact to the community, and that the proposal aligns with council policy number 213 and zoning bylaw number 2430, and further that council directs staff to include a record of community consultation with a response to the LCRB regarding the license application.
Thank you.
Okay, we had a councillor moved and seconded. All in favor? All opposed? Councillor Moses opposed? and I'll oppose. So it's 2 people in favor, 4 opposing the application. The
Yes, I'd like to keep my vote the same as the previous meeting, Your Worship.
Yes, I got you against the motion. And
Thank you, Your Worship.
Councillor Nelson and myself, my office, mayor's office, we are voting against it. And I'm voting against it based on the community ongoing input. People have stopped me, people have phoned me, people have talked to me, I can say in hundreds, if not more. Yeah. So the motion is defeated. What is the recommendation, actually? We move ahead?
So there is then to make the motion to deny the.
Okay.
And then with whatever reason for the denial, so we can send that off to the LCRB. Is that correct, Marie? We need to, yeah.
Okay, I need if we are if we voted against this motion on the floor, now I need somebody to put the motion, the application be denied. Somebody going to make the motion, the application be denied?
I'll make that motion, Your Worship.
Councillor Moses, Councillor, sorry.
We don't actually need that, sorry.
We don't need it, sorry.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's okay. Sorry, folks, and we will proceed to the next item. Moving along, license occupation agreement, Fraser Inn Beer and Wine Store. I suppose council have received the new picture of the sign that was attached today, okay, from the staff. Okay, I need the staff recommendation, please.
The recommendation that pursuant to the report of the planner dated March 10th, 2026, council authorized entering into a license of occupation agreement with the Fraser Inn Beer and Wine Store Limited for an existing freestanding sign located along Donald Avenue at 245 Donald Road.
Moved and seconded. Any question, discussion? I would appreciate the staff. It's doing the hard work. They did it, and it's excellent, clear cut. Good job by the staff. Any question, concern? Hearing none. All in favor? Any opposed? Carried unanimously. Councillor Moses, like always, I'm going to consider you in favor of the recommendation on the floor unless you speak up against it, please, if it's okay.
Yes, thank you, Your Worship.
Thank you, sir. Poll of councils for Thompson River University.
The recommendation that pursuant to the report of Legislative Services Assistant Coordinator dated April 10th, 2026, the email poll cited below and conducted on March 26, 2026 be ratified. That council identify that it is strongly opposed to the Thompson River University Board's discussion or the recommendation that the Williams Lake TRU campus be shut down, and further that council demand the public consultation and the implementation of other programs be implemented ASAP on behalf of the provincial government and the board of TRU, and further that council be on record that they are 100% opposed that the most important trade school in the province of BC be at risk of closing because of budget shortfalls.
So moved.
Moved and seconded, Councillor Nelson, Councillor Bain. I just wanted to let the community know we had a good dialogue, good discussion. I won't go much into detail. I think, at least from my office point of view, along with the senior staff, we had a very good discussion going on. We are talking, and last Friday I was not here, so Councillor Nelson attended the CRD board meeting as a alternate director. So could you please shed the light of what happened that day from the board, if you don't mind? Councillor Nelson?
Thank you very much, Your Worship. I support the recommendation that's in front of us. I think this council is very strong on board that they don't want to see the university close, and most importantly, ensure that there is programmable dollars tied to that particular location. This council is committed to ensure, and the mayor has made it perfectly clear, that the university is not to shut down. There was a discussion. We had a great discussion with the chair of TRU the other day. We made it very clear in terms of a number of key points that we were going to be bringing forward, and those will be sent out. Those 3 kind of key points are basically in front of us. We don't want to see the university shut down. We don't want the land disposed of, and we need to ensure that the most important trade school in the province of British Columbia doesn't close because of budget shortfalls. So three key important points that we made, Your Worship, to the board chair. She recognized our concerns. Our commitment was that we would create and move towards a bit of a dialogue that would help kind of merge a long-term opportunity. Our long-term opportunity was quite clear. You're not shutting down the university. The mayor made it perfectly clear that they wanted to work very closely with the True Board, that we recognized the decisions that they made were public, and that it's put us in a very difficult position. It caught this community by surprise. It caught a lot of people by surprise in terms of the position that they took. We did say we appreciated the deferring any decisions, and I repeat, deferring any decisions. And that defer is being put on pressure by the provincial government to cut, obviously, because of budget shortfalls. Our perspective is that because it's a trade school, it's a regional school or regional university, it's important to the region as a whole that we'll be embarking a very aggressive campaign and networking strategy with this council, the community, and the region as a whole to ensure that the long-term viability of this university stays intact.
Thank you. I think I've seen somebody else. Councillor Bain, please.
Thank you, Your Worship, and I agree that it has to be dealt with, and I do understand the dilemma that True is in, as there's a huge financial, in many schools, and including True, due to the international student problem. But I would also like, and I know it's certainly, I think the intent is there, but it's just I don't see it in the wording. And I guess for whoever is meeting with True and with other, I think, is reaching out. I mean, it was even in my resolution with healthcare providers that we need to reach out to the universities to work together. But I'm okay if they're talking about with other people, but we need to talk to a plan for bridging, not all of a sudden shut our doors, like to bridge with, if it's College in New Caledonia with the nursing program, if it's with, I don't care, I just want a plan, and I feel like we have to reach out and with that respect, and so whoever's going there, I just would appreciate if there's discussion on how we're bridging with other programs and how that's going to involve with, because I think that's going to be a huge part of it, is I don't think they can financially afford it. So we have to figure out if we can approach College in New Caledonia, the Northern Lights, UNBC, those are what I want to make sure. And because I won't personally be in those conversations probably, but I have a lot of opinion about them. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Angie Delaney, then Councillor Scott.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I just want to say that I agree with my colleague, Councillor Bain, regardless if we have TRU or whatever. I don't really care what the proponent is. We need to have education. We need to have post-secondary education in our community in that space. So if TRU wants to pull out, I don't really care, but I want somebody else in there. And we have multiple other people to solicit, and there's been lots of success in the northern communities, in particular with Northern Lights, actually, with trades programs and bridging programs. So whatever it is, we just need to make sure we have a college.
While I was in the coffee, staff helped me, or in fact, working together, we drafted a letter for the Premier and the Minister. It was well received. I had a 10+ minute with the Premier, and he received the letter. He heard me loud and clear. We had a very successful meeting on 7th. Councillor Nelson was there. And similarly, we are having a meeting tomorrow, 12:30, 1 o'clock. If some of you can make it, please make sure you're there. I'm not going to take any chance not to have somebody with me, because I've been stung once by TRU. I won't give them any more chance. So anyway, the meeting is tomorrow. For the community's purpose, we are making the waves. We've been heard very loud and clear, not only by the TRU, by the Premier's office, and by the Minister. As most of you know, this council have a lot of energy working together and pushing for the benefit of the community. I equally won't be correct if I don't mention the support I have received from the community. Some of the people came by 10 minutes, believe it or not, to tell me what is right, what is wrong, what we should do, what we should not do in my office, and including the educator. Some former retired educators, some presently in the position. I want to thank them. They know their name. I won't spend time here mentioning everybody's name. If you had any suggestion, please call upon me. Call any council member, call the staff, call the city hall. Let us know, what do you think, what you want us to do? There's a meeting scheduled tomorrow again. Like I said, I think it's at 1 o'clock or 12:30. I have to check my calendar. At 1 o'clock, and thank you. And so I would respectfully request you to come join. Any council member can. Councilor Nelson, last word.
Thank you very much, Your Worship. Look, I'm going to be honest. I don't have much faith in the province right now. We have been downgraded like 6 times in the last 5 years. It looks terrible out there. The university is losing $12,000 a month. This is an appointed board by the provincial government that has very clearly got a mandate. That mandate, we caught them red-handed. They got caught with their hand in the cookie jar trying to shut our university down without telling us. I'm tired of being kicked like an orphan. So that's it. We caught them red-handed, and the support from the community has been very clear that that university is not going to shut down. There may be a different look to the university at some capacity with other partners and stuff, but they're not giving away the land. They're not shutting the university down. And because they have mismanaged it, and let's be honest, they have mismanaged it, that is their responsibility. Now they're trying to pass the buck onto our region as a whole. Well, we just had another First Nations neighbor come out and very strongly support and say this is an important trade school for our region as a whole. It is important. So I want to be clear, and Mr. Mayor, you've said it a dozen times publicly on the radio and the newspapers, on TV, this university needs to be maintained in our community. That property will remain in this community, and it needs to have a dollar attached to it. Just because the province mismanages their money, don't lay it on the very resource-based communities right now that are hurting. And the responsibility lies within the provincial government to assist communities like Williams Lake and region as a whole to ensure that we've got accessible educational opportunities within our community. Thank you.
Well, I was hoping I don't have to say this, but I think I'm forced to say I made no bones telling the Premier, if they want to leave, they can leave whenever they want it. I want the keys of the campus delivered to my office tonight.
With funding.
Now, with all the other, there's lots of people phoning me, people from Prince George, people from South, people from Okanagan. I haven't returned every call. They're willing to come to the Williams Lake. So hold your horses, have a trust with your council, with your staff. At City Hall, we are doing everything we can. I can almost guarantee you we would have a better campus, not the people who don't want it to stay here. Thank you. Moving, we need to vote, right? Yes, please, all in favor? Thank you. Financial bylaw, please.
Recommendation that pursuant to the report of the Chief Financial Officer dated April 10th, 2026, Council give first 3 readings to the City of Williams Lake Financial Plan number 2433 and commence adoption of said bylaw.
Second.
And Councillor Delaney, I need somebody seconded, please.
Second.
Councillor Moses seconded, and the budget for the financial plan. We're going to adopt it 2026 and 5-year plan till 30. Everything is documented in the general funds and everything. It's a $32 million operating budget plan and $23+ million, over $23 million, very aggressive capital budget for this year. It's one of the best budget I have ever seen. I think Mr. Maraca, his subordinate, his leadership, without being recognized, would be not correct. I like to say it publicly. Mr. Maraca, his leadership, our CFO, our whole staff, they have done marvelous job. The editorial written in the Tribune was wrong. I've been trying to correct them. They haven't corrected. Sometime in February, whatever day was, anyway, they said Penticton lowered their mill rate. That was not the case. I meet almost every 3 weeks with the mayor of Penticton. I called him, talked to him. He said, if anybody want to call me, I'll tell them. Last year, they raised 8% tax. We did not only not raise tax last year, we went down. My understanding is, I stand to be corrected, we lowered the mill rate 3.2%. I'll go further in the next item when we go to the tax rate adoption. I'll make my points there. It's one of the best budget we had, bylaw we had. Thank you, folks. Mr. Vitale, thank you to you and your team from my office, on behalf of the council and behalf of the community. Thank you, Mr. Maraca. Appreciate it. Councillor Nelson.
Thank you very much, Your Worship. I'll be supporting the recommendation in front of us tonight. This is a very all-encompassing budget based upon the times that we've got. Something I do want to point out that every year this community continues to grow. Today, the community assessments are just about $2.1 billion in terms of the assessments that the assessment authority utilizes. The interesting thing about that is that what's made up of that is about $1.65 billion of that is of residential capacity. The bigger portion of that is business, and then it crouches down into some of that. So we're driving a 0% budget, but at the same time, those that have had a bit of an increase in their assessment, that will be picked up slightly from based upon where your assessments are at. This budget here, also over the last year, we paid down a number of other bills, I could say, that brought our debt down as a municipality. If we carry along at the direction that we're going, we will be debt-free next year, which is great news as a target for the next council based upon what's occurring out there in these times. This budget has got a number of key capital infrastructure projects. I think we're going to deal with one tonight as well, the paving program as well, which will be getting started as well. But there's some significant capital projects from the airport to streets to Mackenzie Avenue across the board in terms of what's taking place. So it's a good cross section of capital infrastructure at times right now, Your Worship, where it's tight, but also being reflective of the budgetary concerns. So I'll be supporting the recommendation in front of us.
Thank you. Any comment? Councillor Moses, anything from you?
No, thank you, Your Worship.
Thank you. All in favor? Carried unanimously. The financial plan bylaw, or tax bylaw, please.
Recommendation that pursuant to the report of the Chief Financial Officer dated April 10th, 2026, Council give first 3 readings to the City of Williams Lake Tax Rate Bylaw number 2434, 2026.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Now I'll come back. It's my honor to let the community know, in the first time in the history of Williams Lake, the council less than 2 years had paid, including today's payment, $4.4 million today we have paid off the debt. When this council came to the power, the servicing debt was plus or minus $900,000. We are left a little over $5,000, $500,000. Am I correct, Vitale? About $500,000, little over $500,000 debt left. And like Councillor Nelson said, we'll be debt-free next year, hopefully. And considering we don't have to borrow. It's a great honor to represent the community and tell the community rather than caring. Yes, a lot of people have talked to me when I was telling them there's no decision made. There's a lot of misinformation on the Facebook or social media going on. Some of the people are saying our taxes have doubled. Then when somebody questioned them, they said, oh, no, I mean to say between 21 to today. No. How could I have doubled till today or 26 bylaw, first time we are doing the reading? And nobody knew what the mill rate is going to be. Mill rate is going to be same as what was last year, which was $5.13 per each $10,000 your property. That's the mill rate plus minus. There's a 4 or 5 figure, 5.13530. That's the correct figure. So please, my request to each and everyone watching, listening is do not spread the wrong information. We do not control if your property have assessed high value. I believe Councilor Nelson said it's average 4%. Some property may have gone 14%, some may have gone 6%, some may have gone 1%, some may have gone down, so it's only 4% average. Some people have also talked to me, called me to my office, how could you keep doing 0% twice in a row? My answer to them, what was, and the same tonight, we are trying to build a trust with the community. We don't need the money. When we need it, we'll come to you. Be ready to pay that time. Your money stays in your wallet rather than stays in city's wallet. We are doing fine at this time. Not that fine, but fine. I'd rather pay off 4 or 5% interest payment to the bank or to MFA off rather than I collect 1%, 0.5% interest, the money sitting in the bank. That is the whole thing. So folks, second time in a row, your council, your staff has worked together. It's evidence of working together. We have brought 0% tax. I feel really honored telling the community on behalf of the council and staff. Councilor Nelson.
Thank you, Your Worship. I just want to thank staff, Vitaly, and the entire team. An incredible job. I know we went back and we kicked the can probably a half a dozen times, and we kept looking to see where we could actually find the additional cuts to ensure that we could bring it out at another 0%. And the reason we can do that, Your Worship, is because the staff do extraordinarily well at finding a lot of key grants. We just made an announcement the other day that we got just about $700,000 from Fortis. Every time we turn around, if we can grant fund a particular project and we can get either 30 or 60 or 70% or even 100% on some of these grant projects, and there are a couple of projects, that saves this community money. A lot of the projects contained within this budget average between 20 to 30% grant funding, which is significant. When you're running a $35 million budget and 30% of that, that's $9 million is grant funding, that is significant. So, Vitaly, to you and your team and staff and Jeff and Gary, thank you very, very much. It has massive positive impacts for the community. On the tax rate bylaw, the mayor hit it right on the head. That's 2 years in a row we've run 0%. And we've been able to do it because we've watched the economy, we've watched what's taking place. We're going to be one of the few communities in the province of British Columbia that is going to be debt-free. And we've done it purposely because we know at the end of the day, when we're done our due diligence on the water treatment plant, we need to talk to the community how we're going to pay for this. Right now, we're finding out exactly how much it's going to cost. But we have purposely paid our debt down and ensured that we've got our costs under control so that we can look at one of the largest capital projects. We've already got $22 million saved. We've got a $9 million contingency on top of that inside that budget. So we're looking to try and ensure that the next big, well, the largest capital project that this municipality will undertake is going to be ensured to be paid for different ways. And that's what we need to look at with the province and the feds. Thank you.
And thanks goes to our staff who always looking for the grants and working. I got the right figures here. It's the total capital this year to make this community strong is $23,232,373. That's what we are doing the capital this year. It's a record capital expenditure, but there are lots of good things happening which would benefit to this community. Thank you very much once again to all the staff, Mr. Maraca, and convey everybody our gratitude from council, please. All in favor? Opposed, if any? Carried unanimously. Thank you. And Public Works Community Wildfire Resilience Plan Enforcement.
The recommendation that pursuant to the report of the FireSmart coordinator dated March 31st, 2026, Council endorsed the 2026 Community Wildfire Resiliency Plan as presented and direct staff to use the plan as the guiding framework for the ongoing wildfire risk reduction, operating planning, public education, and future grant applications related to wildfire resilience.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Like I said, we always work together with our neighboring government, all level of government, and we have received the letter concerning letter from our good friend from Area D Director, Mr. Forsett. Mr. Maraca, could you address that letter, please, publicly?
Yeah, Your Worship, I'll call Chief Dean up for just to give some comments on what the concerns were and how we're mitigating those.
Thank you.
Worship. Mr. Mayor, yeah, just we're referring to Director Forsyth's email regarding goal number 35, I believe. Specifically, I believe it states something to the effect that we will work with Regional District on aligning their bylaws with Williams Lake, something to that effect. We heard the concerns from the director there. We can definitely change that one. It's mostly just to be a kind of a guiding principle on future collaborative work on developing bylaw enforcement measures to support things within the fire protection area that are within the regional district. Actually, in an earlier conversation with Director Forsyth, we were just talking about some of those properties that might be bylaw nature concerns that have a wildfire impact that would be nice to be able to work with staff on developing measures that would support what the Williams Lake Fire Department is doing because we're providing the fire service for that area. So I do actually have a recommended kind of amended version of that particular goal if you'd
Please.
like to. Yeah. Basically, we would change that goal to work collaboratively with Cariboo Regional District and local First Nations on wildfire risk reduction strategies for the broader Williams Lake area, including future discussions on enforcement tools within the Williams Lake Fire Protection Area.
It's a nodded head. Good.
It's a nod. Yeah.
Thank you. Long as my friend is happy because I don't want to be having some go match, but he's been a great support to our community. He's a great citizen, great director. I like to keep him happy. Thank you, sir. Any question from the staff, from the council member to the chief?
Thank you.
Hearing none, thank you, chief. Appreciate it.
I'll stay here.
Okay, hearing none, all in favor? Oh,
I'll
sorry.
move the amended recommendation.
Yeah, amended recommendation, please. As amended?
So that'll be as amended.
As amended, fair enough. So moved and seconded, as amended. All in favor? Carried unanimously. And the next one is Cariboo Large Event Municipal Fire, please.
The recommendation that pursuant to the report of Director of Protective Services dated March 24th, 2026, Council approve the Cariboo Large Event Municipal Fire Suppression Mutual Aid Agreement and further that the Mayor and Corporate Officer be authorized to execute the agreement on behalf of the City of Williams Lake.
So moved.
Moved and seconded. It's a great cooperation. Like I've been always, I can sing this Kumbaya song enough, working together. Thank you, Chief. Your collaboration, your leadership, working together, because you never know when the emergency is going to happen and where. We wanted to stand like my office, we've been standing with the mayors, with the regional district, with the First Nation, with everybody. I like to see it continue. We keep working together. When we are together, we are stronger. Thank you very much. Any question to the chief? Hearing none, all in favor? Opposed, if any? Carried unanimously. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Asphalt resurfacing 26 award.
The recommendation that pursuant to the report of the Manager of Engineering dated March 26, 2026, Council award the Asphalt Resurfacing 2026 contract to Peter Bros Construction Limited for the total construction tender amount of $1,178,252.89, excluding GST, for a total project value of $1,338,252.89, including contingency and quality assurance.
So moved.
Moved and seconded. Councillor Nelson.
Thank you very much, Your Worship. There's 2 bids we got. 2. $40 was the difference between these 2 bids. It's the closest I've ever seen that. But the best part is that it's $160,000 below our budgeted amount. So I would only imagine the staff will look at obviously monitoring this and bring back recommendations to put that additional $160,000 in to additional streets. Part of this particular infrastructure project of repaving streets along Mackenzie Avenue, Pigeon Avenue, and Johnson Street is great news. So obviously, the sooner that we can approve this, the sooner that they're going to start to basically get mobile on this. And I do look forward to doing additional streets with the $161,000 savings that we've made. Great job. Thanks, Jeff. Thank you.
And I like, these are the real tenders. I like it. I love it. Like Councilor Nelson said, when you see $100,000 difference, that's not the comparative. My heart goes to Pearson Brothers. They are very good local contractor, and staff have worked with them time after time after time. It's a great and good return for our dollar. Thank you. All in favor? Opposed, if any? Carried unanimously. Okay, moving along. And the Waterworks, please.
The recommendation that pursuant to the report of the Manager of Engineering dated March 26, 2026, Council award the Waterworks 2026 contract to Peterson Contracting Limited for the total construction tender amount of $174,518.19, excluding GST, for a total project value of $201,518.19, including contingency and testing.
So moved.
Moved and seconded is excellent. We are saving under budget. Not very many tender I see under budget. It has to be one of the very few one. Thank you, Councilor Nelson.
You hit it on the head, Your Worship. We often do early approvals on these particular items. Jeff gets out there, he houses it up, he gets them out there. And this saved us from what the marketplace showed. You know, the first one was $161,000 savings. This one here has got a $60,000 savings. So thanks to the staff and really getting the reports in front of us and getting them out early. That does make a big difference, and we're seeing some big savings. So by approving it tonight, we can get on it and maybe even do a few additional works. Thank you.
Okay, all in favor? Opposed, if any? Carried unanimously. And appointment of Central Cariboo Indoor Multi-Use Facility Working Group.
The committee recommendation that pursuant to the Central Cariboo Joint Committee Report number 4202, Mayor Rather and Stacey Miranda from the City of Williams Lake and Director Neufeld and Darren Campbell from the Cariboo Regional District be appointed to a working group for the development of an indoor multi-use facility in the Central Cariboo.
Moved and second, Councilor Delaney, Councilor Lyon. Councilor Lyon, please.
Thank you. I know that none of this will be decided yet, but the Central Cariboo Arts and Culture Society asked that I bring up that they really, 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 really want to be involved in this group.
Excellent. This is just a working group we started. I don't think it would be right not to thank the regional district partner, our Central Cariboo Joint Committee. The budget is approved for the feasibility study. Now, we initially started a very small group, and hopefully this month the Joint Committee meeting will expand and work with the staff. What is our next goal or step is? It's a one baby step, and thanks to the Joint, thanks to the Regional District Director, particularly Area DEF, and all the directors on the Regional District Board. It's a baby step, but we are at least moving forward in the right direction. Thank you. All in favor? Carried unanimously. Water treatment plant budget update and option.
The Committee recommendation that pursuant to the Committee of the Whole Council Report number 9, 2026, and the report of the Manager of Engineering dated February 11, 2026, Council received the latest construction cost estimate for the water treatment plant, endorse the water treatment plant project as a top priority, support the project and move it forward to the design stage, and seek upgrades and grants that will tie in with future programs to cover ongoing project costs.
So moved.
I need seconder. Councillor Nelson, Councillor Lyon, moved and seconded. There was some misinformation floating around in the paper. While I was in the coffee last week, I received a call from a couple member of our council and the community member. The way they read it, they thought we have under budgeted. That's not under budgeted, and I think the message was not clear. We got a grant plus and minus $19 million, pretty close to $19 million, $25.3 million program or the function. And we was to cover $6.3 million, I believe, if I remember, from ourselves. This project cost has gone up, significant cost have gone up. We have done very little work on this. And definitely, I have spoken time after time since September. I've been speaking to Victoria, and they are pretty quiet. And I spoke to the Premier during the Natural Resource Forum meeting, along with our CEO and with the support from the First Nation leadership, Chief Willie Dye, and Councillor Bain was also with us. And he was pretty mum. He never said anything, but let's see what happened. We are holding provincial government and federal government feet on the fire. When originally this plan, the project was approved, it was exact amount 76%. I'm going to hold along them in the office, their feet on the fire. If the price is going up, it's not our fault. Our community cannot afford 17, 18, 20 million dollars on project like this. And they are spending our money. I've said again and again, federal government spending our tax dollar in the third world country. Not that I'm against it, but they must look after people, our own citizen in the backyard. They equally deserve clean water for drinking, for their consumption. So this council will keep working. That's all I wanted to win or lose, I don't know. And we'll be on it, Councillor Nelson.
I'm just going to cut it short here, Your Worship. This project has a heavy contingency involved in it as well. I think this is our key capital project that we're looking to build. With this motion, we're moving forward with the design that will actually give us a true cost. We recognize that part of this is to ensure, and the top priority is that we've got clean, healthy drinking water in our community. We recognize that there's a good chance that the federal government's going to be bringing down new levels of arsenic in terms of their water guidelines. This new treatment plant will deal with that as well. So we'll be capturing two big exposures to ensure that we've got clean drinking water in our community. That's why we're planning now and ensuring that we've got a good $22 million saved. We're looking for commitments from the province and the feds to continue to top up. They just made a $51 billion announcement that they want to see additional infrastructure projects put in place. Well, we're going to get our actual cost in place. We're going to lobby like crazy and ensure that we've got the support to ensure that we've got clean, potable, safe drinking water in our community for the future. Thank you.
Thank you. Any more comment, concern? Hearing none. All in, oh, sorry, Councillor Delaney.
Just for clarity, are we going with option one? This is what we're doing?
Sorry, I didn't hear that.
Sorry, I'm getting tired, so I'm like, we're on the water treatment plant budget update and options, or I'm on the wrong thing?
Yes.
That's what we're on?
Yes.
So we're going with option one?
Whatever was the recommendation of the committee. What was the recommendation of the committee?
Do you want me to read the recommendation again? It's
No, I can see the recommendation. I just, there was three options inside of that. Okay, maybe I'm in the wrong spot. I'm looking at E committee.
We actually changed the recommendation. The council received the latest construction cost estimates for the water treatment plant, endorse the water treatment plant project as a top priority, support the project to move forward to the design stage, and seek upgrades and grants that will tie in with future programs to cover ongoing costs, project costs. So we changed it from the 3 recommendations to add in to ensure that if the project went up in cost, that as the mayor alluded to, the province needs to commit to that same level of contributions that they previously added to.
okay.
So we changed it a little bit.
Okay, no, I'm good. I just want to make sure that I know what I'm voting on, because
Thank you.
tiring out here.
I appreciate it. Basically, what council is trying to do is to hold the province and federal government to the same level of commitment. If the cost going up, it should not only cost to City of William Lake, it should cost to federal and provincial government. We will pay our share. Thank you. All in favor? Opposed, if any? Unanimously carried. Provincial budget 2027 consultation.
Committee recommendation that pursuant to the Committee of the Whole Council Report number 10, 2026, the letter from the Legislative Assembly of BC dated March 23rd, 2026 regarding the Provincial Budget 2027 consultation be received, and the Council requests the province to reinsert the $200 Northern Allowance back into the budget.
So moved.
Moved. I need seconded. Moved and seconded. Councillor Lyon seconded. Councillor Nelson moved it. Any question, concern? Hearing none. All in favor? Carried. Minute of the Central Cariboo Joint Committee of April 1st.
So moved.
Moved and seconded. Councillor Bain seconded. Councillor Nelson moved it. All in favor? Carried. And proclamation and recognition, please.
Clerks note that the list of recognitions in the report be received for information.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All in favor? Carried. Council information package.
So moved.
Moved and seconded. All in favor? Carried. And round table, please.
So moved.
Moved and seconded. All in favor?
Move adjournment.
Moved and seconded. All in favor? Carried. Thank you. Well done, folks.